What's up, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at a ZT. Let's see what model it is. And it's the 0200 military folder. I love this knife. Sadly, it's not mine anymore. Sorry about that. This is just some paint I was painting today. But sadly, I don't own this anymore, but it's an absolutely phenomenal knife. So let's get to the review. Specs, as always, will be in the description. But yeah, this is what I think is one of the best values out there. This knife's about $110 to $120 to $130, which isn't really cheap, so to speak, but phenomenal fit and finish and just overbuilt, super sturdy. Ergos are great, high quality materials. This knife is worth every cent, in my opinion. Unfortunately, I can't really carry it that much because it's not really conducive to carry for my circumstances. It's pretty heavy. It's really thick and quite heavy. So for that, it's not super great for that. But in terms of quality, in terms of fit and finish, in terms of materials used, in terms of design and overall just the small details, this is just a phenomenal knife for the money. Let's start with the blade. You got a decent length. Here's a quick size comparison with another one of my favorite value knives, or at least what you get for the money, the Paramilitary 2. This one not so much in particular because this one is a sprint run, but just like the black or camo ones. As you can see, this is a pretty big blade. On the very, very long end of what I'm willing to carry. Literally no longer than this will I be willing to carry. This is a little bit of a stretch, but I could still carry this. You got a nice high ground, flat grind blade of 154 cm, and it's not too thick to begin with. It's an overbuilt folder, but I think people overestimate how strong the forces you're going to be putting the blade on are. Whether or not you're going to torque it to break it or something. Like, people will assume that you need a really thick blade. While this comes to a pretty thin tip, I think overall the blade's a good thickness, and it'll maintain good strength for really any use that you need a folding knife for. Got a nice, really good looking blade shape. It's kind of just a recurve into a straight drop point, or clip point more like. I haven't had to resharpen this one. The 154 cm stays sharp for a while, and this actually has been used, not too much, but at least a little bit, and none of the coating wears off. It's a very durable coating, and the edge just holds really well. And the grind is great, so that the geometry and just the bevels and stuff are really nice to keep a thin edge toward the tip. So. Very well done. Despite this being a very strong knife, it's a cutter. It's not a pry bar. And don't use it as such. Got that pretty cool ZT logo over here, and 0200 Kai patented 3210 154 cm. Let's go on to the deployment. Deployment is by flipper or by thumb stud. Both work very well, and you can hear that when I open it. That's authoritative. That's strong. Even with the flipper, either method is just really well balanced. Some flippers you actually need to practice to get used to, and that's one of the bad things I think about the Hinder XM18 is because the flipper is actually not that well balanced and well placed. But this one is just effortless. The D10 is absolutely perfect. For both thumb stud, and I could just do this all day long, and it could take it. This is a strong knife. Let's go into the handles. You got really thick handles here. Nicely contoured, CNC milled, high quality G10. This is the good stuff right here in terms of handles. Few handles can match the quality that this one has been made to. Despite that, it's a little chunky for me. It's significantly, it's thick. Here it is next to the Paramilitary 2, and you can see it's probably like twice the width with the G10 scales. That's due partially to the width of the blade and the fact that you have liners and pretty thick G10 scales on top of that. So It's hand filling though. It's not anything too excessive, and if you're looking for a knife that you probably will be using a lot, I mean, you probably want something that is very ergonomic and will fill your hand. So if you don't mind a little extra weight, you will have a knife that's very comfortable. In terms of weight, if you're wearing shorts, this will bring them down. You know, if you're running around with gym shorts or something with an elastic waistband, these are going to pull it down definitely, unless you have them on pretty tight. Something that the paramilitary 2 or some lighter blades won't necessarily do. I can't stop playing with this, can I? Lock is a liner lock. It's decently thick. It's definitely strong enough. When you hear it open, it's just authoritative, and when you look at it, it's actually a decently thick liner lock. It's because the blade is kind of thick that it looks thin in comparison, but no play. Actually, very little bit left to right, but none up and down. Rock solid. I wish they had used the thumb studs as the stop pins on this knife, mostly because I feel like that's a stronger design than an actual separate stop pin, but this does work on a stop pin. This is pillar construction. The liners have been nested or hollowed out so that you can save a little bit of weight, and I do appreciate that. Every ounce helps. I do really prefer lighter knives. The clip is absolutely modifiable. You can put it to any 4 positions, and it's a nice simple clip. It rides pretty low too, on both positions, up or down. One thing you'll see a lot with a lot of production knives is that when you're tip up, you'll tend to have a much deeper carry than when you're tip down, because sometimes they'll just put like the holes like right here as an afterthought, and then you got like this whole chunk out if you want to carry tip down. Though I do prefer tip up, I do appreciate that they actually bothered to put it in a location that would also help deep carry, because I feel like it's not that hard to grip onto your knife in your pocket. It's just that I don't want it to be too I don't want to be too outwardly visible with it and risk losing it. Ergonomics on the handle are just phenomenal. The thumb ramp also works really well. I haven't really mentioned that. It's not too aggressive. I don't really like jimping that will hurt your fingers when you put your finger on it. So it's a nice balance. Overall, the O200 is a really well designed folder. I highly advise it to anybody, whether or not you're a collector or a user. This knife will function absolutely amazingly. It's definitely a great value. Everything's overbuilt, including the pillars and the blade, and even the lock I feel like is very, very strong. It's definitely a high quality knife. It's super fun to play with. If you're looking for a new knife around 100 to 130 bucks, don't bother dropping it on some of the new releases that are coming out. This knife has been in the ZT line for a couple years now, but it's absolutely great for the money, and I highly advise it. This is the kind of approval. I tend not to hate knives, any specific knives, but in terms of knives I like, this is way up there. This could be, top 10 or something. But this is just, and I've handled a lot of knives, so. Anyways, that's my review of the ZT-O200. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is just a phenomenal knife. Get it if you have a chance to. It's definitely worth it. Alright, I'll see y'all later. Peace.